Before the segment even commences, we already have laughs in. We'll tell you exactly how this just happened. Finally joining us today on the show is Olarewaju Gregory, popularly known as Larry J. Just in case you don't know who Olarewaju Gregory is, it's okay because he himself does not even know. He forgot his name was so. Larry J in the studio with us.
He's an actor, radio host, compare, one of the key players in the Nigerian comedy industry. He's a comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He delivers amazing performances. He has this unique blend of drama, reality. He knows how to cry very well.
Well, tell you what, before we show him to you guys, let's check out one of his pieces.
Hello, everybody. I was having a conversation with my wife recently, and then she told me, she said when she was a child, she used to eat beans and fish, and it was her favorite meal. And in my mind, I'm thinking, really? Beans and fish? When I was growing up, it's beans and beans, beans and gari, beans and bread, beans and yam. It was 2 me 3. That means there is ratio 3:2. The beans is 2, the water inside is 3. The oil will be on one side, the pepper will be on one side, the maggi will be in the middle. Your spoon is the rod of Moses. You now put gari and now be mixing it together. You know when you eat that thing, as you're going on the road, it's only water you'll be drinking all day. She not even say, oh, sometimes I used to have chicken with beans, but I didn't like it. Yeah, chicken is like the head of state in our family. Do you understand? You don't disrespect him. Chicken is for the head of the family. Especially chicken lap. You don't just eat chicken lap. Like you eat it with honor, with dignity. Before you eat chicken, it's chicken leg we used to eat. We'll chase the chicken around. We'll be the one to kill it. We'll remove the head and the leg. We'll boil it separately. We'll put the leg inside of it and we'll peel the skin before we can eat the leg. We eat chicken lap 3 times in a year. We eat it on our birthday, in somebody's burial, or when we tip. The day my mother catch me stealing chicken lap, she slapped the smell out of my taste bud. I think my mother invented COVID. And believe me, the sweetest chicken to eat is accidental chicken.
Ladies and gentlemen, Larry J in the studio.
Thanks for having me. Thanks so much.
Good to have you here.
I'm watching me and I can't believe I said all of that.
Well, it is you. And honestly, this is the first time I've heard you sound so pristine. I mean, I can't even believe when they say that you're a radio host because it's just like I always hear.
No, but really and truly, I don't know where. I was reading, I told you I was reading, I didn't know I was reading about myself. But yeah, it's
Larry J, man.
to be here.
Good to have you here. You're such a very nice, boisterous person. Your personality, you don't even have to say anything. You come in the room and people just feel comfortable around you.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
Stop it. Don't make me blush.
Here we go.
Like, you're making me feel like a couch on the couch.
Your comedy is one that I found very, very unique, even from when I first discovered you. I thought that very few people could make you laugh based on soliloquy.
Yeah.
But yet you come on, you say something that I relate to personally, especially growing up, maybe going to go and buy something for your mother and then you now forgot time and then you're playing football. I remember that's one of the very first ones I heard. But it was so relatable and it was funny, even if the person who was rendering that comedy wasn't laughing himself. I've also seen you on stage. You're a fantastic performer and all of that.
Thank you.
Based on that, comedy in you, how have you seen yourself, where do you see yourself inside the entire, the industry as a whole? How unique is your character, your personality in all of this that we see people doing?
One of the things I've decided to do, because, you know, when you get into an industry, you tend to blend in first, and then you need to pick out your own uniqueness just to be different. Because if you decide to be different immediately, right from start, you'll be laid back for a while. Like, people will not understand you. So I decided to carve a niche for myself to do realistic jokes and talk about the reality, make fun of our horrors, let me put it that way. Like, remembering some things, like I can remind you of some things that happened to you and you can relate with it. But when it was happening then, it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny, no. Exactly.
But now that you've grown, you consider it very funny.
True.
Because, and 80% of everything that I say are actually things that happen to me.
Yeah, your experience.
So when you talk about the pepper, it happened. It happened. Yeah, it did.
Wow.
Everybody had one of those.
So, you know, how connected do you feel you are to the industry as it is today? Because in the end, there is sort of like a divide. The Instagram comedians versus the actual stand-up. Now, you are an actual stand-up MC. You can actually compare events as well as do a whole stand-up show on your own. But what's your opinion of how the industry has moved?
like I said earlier on, the more a child grows, the more he discovers things he can do.
Okay.
And trust me, the same way we have people skit makers, we have people who respond to people's comments.
Okay.
And they are very funny. They are not skit makers. If you want to see, go to any blog. Whenever you see something,
the comment section is
on the comment section, there are some very funny
I'm a comment
people.
section surfer.
And those ones they are also growing.
Yeah.
They are also growing. And for the skit makers, so the problem we have basically is that some people don't know the difference between the stand-up comedian and the skit maker. And some of us decided to, you know what, let's chuck our head inside this thing together. Last, like, we need to push ourselves out there.
Yeah.
But your gift will actually stand out eventually. You can't call a professional skit maker to do a stand-up comedy for you. You'll be lost at some point because all he's waiting for is cuts. Okay, let's cut out this part, let's put in this part, and all of that. But for a stand-up comedian, you are not cutting anything. Yeah. It's straight on. You are saying that.
I'm going to bring out the big guns now. Now, we love your comedy as Nigerians. We grew up in Festac, buying pepper, playing football, and all of that, and that's what you talk about. So if I was to take you outside of Nigeria and put you on a stage with some white folks, how do you think your comedy will fare there?
Thank you very much for that fantastic question. By the way, it's not a jam question because I've been to comedy clubs in the UK.
Oh, really?
And I did stand-up comedy. So when I say I had to carve a niche for myself in that area, just to be different, it doesn't mean that's the only thing that I do.
Okay.
Do you understand? So I can do all the kind of comedy. Like, I can make it political if I want to. I can make it spiritual if I want to, which I always not want to, because for every kind of comedy you do, it's always offensive to someone. Yeah. So as much as possible, I always try to strike a balance. I don't like hurting people. Yeah. I love to bring smile and joy to the faces of people.
Like I said about
so I would rather stay in between. I would rather tread on that line.
Yeah, but you said it yourself when you said you hurt somebody each time you say something. Yeah. Some people find it funny, others don't. Yeah. Will Smith didn't find it funny. He left a fresh set of prints on Chris Rock's face and all. But isn't that what comedy is after all? You will broach on some topics that will rub people off the wrong way. Yeah. Are we beginning to take comedy a bit too serious?
The good and the bad part, especially for this side of the country where we are, people take comedians seriously and take politicians as being funny.
Wow. PVC joke. PVC joke.
Like, they'll see something and they'll be like, these guys are very funny to the politician. But once a comedian says something, why would he say such a thing? Exactly. But the person who you're supposed to really hold responsible for his words, you are not.
And then they
come for the comedian who is just trying to put a smile on your face, or you feel attacked by what he's saying, which I feel like is not normal. Well, we don't live in a normal country, so
okay.
We are not. Okay. If we're normal, we would not be where we are right now.
I wanted to touch on, this issue of the comedians having a certain level of influence. Now, comedians and skit makers, let's put everybody in the comedy sphere now of influence. Yeah. Having to put forward certain messages. Now, there are people like abroad, like Trevor Noah, that make sure they push a certain message, or should I say agenda. How come you think Nigerian comedians haven't really taken to that mantle?
I feel like some of them are doing that already.
Some?
Some, yes. And I will say it's some. Because Macaroni, for example, is doing it the best way he can. Like, he lets people know where he stands. People know his opinions. He lets people hear him and, they get understanding. When he's being misunderstood, he tries to explain himself. He tweets that. He doesn't say it outrightly. And it's because we do not have... Trevor Noah has the advantage because it's a daily show. People see it almost every day. So you can talk about something that happened all through the week in a day and then have time to talk about, and then hear his opinion and everything. But hardly will you find a comedian who has that
Access every day.
access every day. Do you understand? If not, if we do, like if we have a station that's been dedicated to comedy, where people can just tune in, you can have something like that, which is in process. A big shout out to Alibaba, who's also putting some of that into, who is putting it into action already. Like is on the pipeline, and I feel like that the only difference, and for some, they don't want to put out anything negative. Not like they don't know what's happening. They understand what's happening. But they would rather people come to their page and be comfortable.
So Larry J, I'm going to cross the line here and say something everybody's thinking but not saying.
Yeah.
Files, the bad guy, got very advocative recently. And many people argue, I'm not one of these people, I'm just bringing this to your note, that because of that, it has had an effect on his what's the word? Not career. I won't say
what
career.
do you mean?
On his music.
Okay.
Now you see him more as an advocate than you see him as a musician. Is his music where it ought to be? Perhaps, maybe not. These are arguments, not my conclusion. Do you think, as a comedian, if you got involved with advocacy or maybe even politics, that it would rub you off the wrong way? Do you think comedians have been able to actually, perhaps, get away with this?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because what you spend more time with tend to be what you become.
Okay.
And comedy is a matter of what you are on the inside. Like, you express what you are on the inside out. So it's, you can't say, if you check out one video of I Could Die that went viral recently, I was talking about politicians and everything. That was what he had in mind.
Yeah.
So he had to pour it out somehow. The same thing with Dave Chappelle. And it has to do with comedy, American politics. The same thing with Trevor Noah. So it's what they have in mind. So when they get on stage, that's what they give to the audience. And is what you take in that you would give out. If you decide to spend more time with what's going wrong in the country and politics and the whole, in politics as a whole,
you become a politician, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. It's like someone who is a football fan and you support Arsenal so much. You can't tell me, as a comedian, you don't have a joke about Arsenal. You will have one.
I guess that's
Do you
it.
understand?
Yeah,
That's what it is. What you take in that you give.
Yeah, that you put out.
Yeah.
Wow,
so I tend
infectious.
to take in. I tend to take in people's bad experiences and I give it back to them.
Wow.
In a way that they find it funny. Just like you do with everything that I've heard you do. Hey, Larry J, that's fantastic. You're such a warm personality, like I said. I never thought that he was going to be this kind of a guy.
Don't make me blush. My mother is watching.
But stay tuned. Larry J is still with us. We're going to be shifting him into the kitchen very, very soon so that you guys can see.
You want to go to the kitchen?
Go to the kitchen.
So stay tuned, and we'll be right back on Wake Up Nigeria.